Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter Environment and Natural Resources. And in the previous class, we have discussed about the reason why we study these topics of geography and political science, and especially in international politics. We have seen that the countries need to cooperate with each other in order to solve these environmental problems, in order to solve these problems which are related with the resources. So without cooperation, a country on its own will not be able to achieve anything. So that is why we study these topics in international politics. Not only this, we have also seen that in international politics, which country use uh, which resources, who is paying the cost, and who is responsible for taking corrective action. All these are decided by the power politics, and that is also the reason that we study all these things in the international politics. And we have also seen that from the decade of 1960, the awareness of the environmental consequences of economic growth acquired an increasingly political character. Before 1960s, this kind of awareness was not there. The focus was only on economic development. But from 1960s, it was understood that the whole humanity is paying a lot of price for this economic development, and that reflected in the global think tank of the Club of Rome, which also published a book in the year 1972, and the book's name was Limits to Growth. And then we have also seen that there were other efforts also, like international agencies were working in, that is UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. It also began holding international conferences and promoting study to get a more coordinated and effective response to global problems, global environmental problems. And then in this direction, the most important effort, or we can say the most important step, was the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, which was held in the year 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil. This conference is also known as Earth Summit, in which more than 170 countries have attended this summit, and so many NGOs were also there in this meeting, and multinational corporations were also there. And this Earth Summit was the first of its kind of a conference, was held for the purpose of environmental upgradation. In order to upgrade the quality of environment, this meeting was held. This level meeting of this level was held for the first time. And then in the year, actually 5 years earlier, in the year 1987 itself, Brundtland Commission was formed, and this Brundtland Commission has given its report, which was named Our Common Future, which focuses on the issue that we all are connected to each other. And in this report only, first time the sustainable development, the term was used, which means that there is need to balance the requirement of the present generation with the necessities of the future generation. The resources should be used in a reasonable manner, so that we can save some resources for our future generation as well. So the development should be the development should sustain. We are not supposed to do such development that only the present generation will be in a beneficial condition, but the future generation will face a lot of trouble. They will face a lot of scarcity of resources, because of which their life will become impossible for them. So this would not be done. This is the concept of sustainable development, and this was first given in Brundtland report. And now what we find that we are going to discuss in detail about the Rio summit. In Rio summit, what was felt that the whole world was divided into two parts. On the one hand, there was rich and developed countries. These rich and developed countries are mostly, they are in the northern part of the globe, and that is why they are known as global north. Okay, so these rich and on the one hand there are rich and developed countries which belong to the first world countries, as we have discussed in the first chapter. First world, the capitalist countries; second world, the communist countries; and the third world, the countries which got independence after the end of the Second World War. So these global north constitute the first world countries. Okay, and so on the one hand, the rich and developed countries were there, and on the other hand, there were poor and developing countries. Okay, poor these countries are known as global south. So you can see in the globe, northern the countries which are on the north of the globe, they are mostly developed countries. There are some exceptions like Australia, which is in the northern part of the globe, or we can say which is on the northern side. Yes, that is a developed country. सो मोस्टली इसी तरह का डिवीज़न है कि ये नहीं नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर एंड सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर की बात नहीं कर रहे. वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर एंड नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर, बट if we see the northern part of the countries of the world, of the countries which are in the world, they are rich and developed, and the southern part of the countries are poor and developing. So this divide was very much visible in that Rio summit which was held in the year 1992. ठीक है, रियो समिट जिसको आज समिट भी कहते हैं, उसमें ये डिवीज़न बहुत क्लियर हो गया. और यहाँ पर हम ये देखते हैं कि both these countries have different concern. On the one hand, if the rich and developed countries were very much concerned about ozone layer depletion and global warming, the problems of ozone layer depletion and global warming. On the other hand, the poor and developed countries, they were very much their focus was not on only on global warming and ozone layer depletion, but actually their focus was how to balance economic development with environmental management. Why this change of concern? Why the developed countries have the concern of climate change, global warming, ozone layer depletion, but the developing countries are much more concerned with this relationship between economic development and environmental management? Why? Why this change of concern? Because the context is different. The context of the developed countries and the context of the developing countries are completely different from each other. How? Why? What we find that the developed countries, if you consider the case of US or UK or France, which constitute the most important, most powerful countries of the global north. Okay, in these countries, the process of industrialization, actually we know the industrial revolution took place in UK only. UK was the first country where industries started, and it all started in the early 18th century, we can say, isn't it? तो इन अदर कंट्रीज ऑल्सो, अगर पूरे की पूरे को हम एक साथ लेकर चलते हैं, ऑल द developed and rich countries are taken together, we can say that in these countries industrialization started in the 18th century. Okay, and at that time, what was the condition of the countries of global south, the countries which are in global south, like the countries of the Asia, Africa, Latin America? These countries were highly undeveloped at that time. We cannot think of industrialization in these countries. There was, to some extent, yes, manufacturing was going on, but industries were not there, not at all. So in these countries which constitute global south, actually in these countries the industrialization started only after they become independent, and when they become independent after the end of the Second World War. It means 1945. So these countries of global south, in these countries, the process of industrialization started after 1945. So how many years you can say from this year 2020? We are in 2021, and this started in 1945. So if we subtract it, what we will get? $76. So in these countries, the process of industrialization started just before 76 years, and these countries are still developing countries. They are still facing so many economic challenges in front of them: poverty, unemployment, undernourishment. All these are problems of problems. All these are problems which these countries are facing at present, isn't it? They are still developing all the sectors: industry, service, agriculture. No sector is, we can say that it has developed completely. They all are in the process of development. Okay, so if we see this condition of US, UK, France, or any other country of global north, we find that there abundance is existing in those countries. अबंडेंस हो चुका है, इतना ज़्यादा प्रोडक्शन हुआ कि वहाँ पर अब इकोनॉमिक कोई चैलेंज है ही नहीं उनके सामने. दे आर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज, उनके यहाँ चीज़ों का अबंडेंस हो चुका है, तो दे आर कम्प्लीटली डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. क्योंकि उनके यहाँ अगर हम देखें तो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन का जो प्रोसेस है वो आज से करीब 250-300 साल से वहाँ चल रहा है. These countries are industrialized countries for the last 200 to 250 years. तो हमारा तो अभी सिर्फ अराउंड 70 ईयर्स हम कह सकते हैं हुआ है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन को. यहाँ तो 250-250 साल हो चुके, तो ऑब्वियसली वो हमसे आगे होंगे, है ना. ऑब्वियसली दे विल बी अहेड ऑफ अस, because they are developing industries for the last 200 to 250 years. तो उनका जो कंसर्न है, अब उनको डेवलपमेंट इज नॉट देयर कंसर्न बिकॉज दे आर डेवलप्ड. उनका एक लेवल स्टैब्लिश हो चुका है. नाउ देयर मेन कंसर्न इज ओनली अबाउट ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, climate change, and this ozone layer depletion. Okay, they are only concerned about the environmental degradation. But now when we see these global south countries, they are not they cannot afford to focus only on the environmental issues because they are developing countries. It is only around 70 years ago the process of industrialization has started. They are very much backward in the sphere of science and technology. They are very much backward in the sphere of industries. So their need is economic development. They need to focus on economic development. If they don't focus on economic development, they will not be able to survive in this world. So what is their concern? That development process should not be obstructed because of environmental management. We need to manage environment. We need to upgrade the management. We need to upgrade the environment, but there should be a proper balance between these two, because the developing countries cannot go for environmental upgradation at the cost of economic development. We need to develop ourselves economically. We need to develop our industry, we need to develop our agriculture, we need to develop our service sector. We need to develop the whole economy. So we cannot go for environmental management at the cost of economic development. So what is the requirement? What is the need of these global south countries? The need is to maintain a balance between environmental management and economic development. So this is the difference of opinion between the global north and global south, which became very completely clear in the Rio summit. Okay, everyone, ये सबके सामने ये बात क्लियर हो गई कि जो वर्ल्ड की जो कंट्रीज़ हैं वो दो पार्ट्स में हैं, और इन दोनों के जो कंसर्न है वो एक दूसरे से डिफरेंट है. So the countries of north and south have a different approach regarding the environment and development. The developed countries are of the opinion that the environmental issues are the issues which are of the prime importance, and every country should contribute equally to conserve the environment. But the developing countries are of the opinion that this is not fair, because what is not fair? That all the countries should play equal role in the upgradation of the environment. All the countries should play the equal role in the conservation of the environment. This view was not accepted by the countries of global south. So first of all, global north जो है उसका क्या कहना है? It says that all the countries should all the countries should play equal role to conserve the environment. Okay, this view is not accepted by the global global south countries, because global south countries are of the opinion that who contributed most in making the environment dirty? Who were the countries who played the biggest role in degrading the environment? It is the developed countries, because in those countries the process of industrialization is going on for the last around 250 years, है ना? उससे भी ज़्यादा 300 सालों से चला आ रहा है कुछ कंट्रीज में. So who is responsible for this environmental degradation? The developed countries are responsible for the degradation of the environment. So they should contribute more to upgrade the environment. It is the view of global south. The developed countries are responsible to downgrade the environment. The developed countries are responsible to downgrade the environment, so their responsibility towards its conservation should be more, because they have contributed more to the downgrading of the environment, so they should contribute more to the upgradation also. This is logical, no? If we consider things logically, it seems logical, it is logical. जिसने गंदगी फैलाया है वही गंदगी साफ करेगा, है ना? The country which is responsible for creating so much of pollution, that country should take the responsibility to clean the environment. We are not responsible for this. The developing countries are not responsible for all these problems like global warming, climate change, ozone layer depletion. We are not responsible. Who is responsible? The developed countries are responsible for all these things. So they should do the things. They should there should be restrictions on the economic activities of these countries. यहाँ पर you have to understand कि why the developing countries are raising this kind of issues that we are not responsible, they are responsible, so they should contribute, because जो जब इस तरह के environmental summits होते हैं तो what is the outcome of these summits? Outcome ये होता है कि उसमें कुछ restrictions लगा दिए जाते हैं, जैसे इंडस्ट्रियल जो भी प्रोसेस हो रहा है किसी भी कंट्री में, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन जो हो रहा है उस पर बहुत सारे restrictions लगा दिए जाते हैं ताकि उससे एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म ना हो. और ये restrictions अगर हमारे जैसे कंट्री पे लग जाएंगे तो हमारा इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट जो है वो ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट हो जाएगा, है ना. तो हमारे जैसे जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं उनका ये कहना है कि जो restrictions आपको लगाने हैं, if you want to put any restrictions for the purpose of upgradation of the environment, those restrictions should be put on the developed countries because they are more responsible. They are doing industrial activities for the last 200 to 300 years. So they are responsible for this downgradation of the environment. So they should be, their economic activities should be restricted. The economic activities in the developing countries should not be restricted. This is the opinion of the global north. And this opinion of global north was actually accepted by the अर्थ समिट. जो अर्थ समिट हुआ जिसकी हम बात करें 1992 में, उस अर्थ समिट में इस बात को समझ लिया गया कि जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं दे नीड टू डेवलप, है ना. द प्रोसेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इज गोइंग ऑन. These countries are not fully developed. They are under the process of development. So their main concern is to develop, है ना. So there are some special needs of these developing countries, and these special needs must be taken into account. These special needs must be taken into consideration. है ना? Whenever there are environmental laws are going to be framed, है ना? We are going to, if the conference held, Earth Summit held, and in Earth Summit suppose some environmental laws are going to be made, तो environmental laws आपको ऐसे नहीं बनाना है blindly. You have to take into consideration the special needs of the developing countries. It was accepted in the Rio Summit. So it is called in the Earth Summit it was called common but differentiated responsibilities. It was called common but now what does it mean? Common responsibility. We all have common responsibility. Now don't consider these two terms. Okay, only consider common responsibility. All the countries are responsible towards environment. It is our duty to save the earth, to save the nature. So it is our common responsibility because all our lives are linked to each other. No country is living in isolation. We all are very much connected to each other. So it is our common responsibility that the needs of the environment must be taken into consideration. But at the same time, common but differentiated responsibilities. The responsibilities are different. The developing countries have different responsibilities. The developed countries have different responsibilities. Because in the developed countries, the process of development is complete. So economic restrictions can be put on those countries because they are very much developed. They have developed science and technology so much so that they can develop such technology also, which reduces pollution, and they can afford to use that technology. But in developing countries, the problem is that in these countries the process of development is going on, and they cannot obstruct this process of development. So there is we cannot put restrictions on the economic activities of the developing countries. Moreover, there is problem of technology also, because what we find that there are many new technological advancement, and because of these technology, the pollution can be minimized in factories. But the developed countries have invented these technologies, and the developing countries are not having that technology. So they need to import that technology from the developed countries. Now, if they get this technology at a higher rate, then it's very costly, है ना? इस तरह के imports बहुत costly होते हैं. तो if the developing countries get these technology at higher rate, it will increase their cost of production. And if the cost of production will increase, then the whole economy will be in problem. People will face the problem of inflation. तो ये उनके लिए पॉसिबल नहीं है कि वो ऐसे टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ करें जिससे कि पॉल्यूशन कम होता हो, क्योंकि ये टेक्नोलॉजी अगर वो इम्पोर्ट करेंगे तो वो बहुत कॉस्टली हो जाएगी, उससे कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन बढ़ जाएगा. So what is the way that these technologies should be transferred by the developed countries to the developing countries at cheaper rate? That is also one of the things which was accepted in that conference. So this is also important. So we today we have discussed about the Rio Summit, and thus in the next class we will continue with this discussion.